This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News, one M-State student's carpentry skills earned him a national honor.
Food, dance, and culture from around the world come together on MSUM's campus.
NDSU students are jumping at the chance to take part in a basketball contest.
And while most students are finished with spring break, these students never leave their tropical paradise.
Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Macy Egeland.
And I'm Ezra Vandeninde. North Dakota has passed some of the strictest abortion laws in the country, and that has young women on both sides of the debate talking.
Governor Jack Dalrymple recently signed 3 bills that place tougher limits on abortion in the state. North Dakota only has 1 abortion provider, and the new laws could make it more difficult for those seeking an abortion. The most controversial law bans abortions once a fetal heartbeat is detected. The other laws prohibit abortions based on genetic defects and gender selection. Some students at North Dakota State University have very different opinions on Dalrymple's decision to sign these bills.
I was kind of humiliated, disgusted, kind of frightened all at once. I'm just kind of scared that they're going to take away our rights altogether through these bills, and then later on personhood, even though I do believe it won't pass because it is unconstitutional.
I think probably the best way I can describe it is like it was a relief, like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, I guess, and like there was just a sincere peace in me.
Doctors who perform an abortion after a heartbeat has been detected could be jailed for up to 5 years and fined $5,000.
The transition from being a student to a teacher can be both exciting and stressful, but one Minnesota testing assessment is making it even more difficult. Reporter Chelsea Smith has the story.
In the education program on MSU Moorhead's campus, most students are working toward one common goal: to be the future teachers of today's youth. Like Kayla Vandenheuvel, a junior at MSUM who has had a passion for teaching for as long as she can remember.
I know that it's something that I really love and something I really want to do.
But due to a new Minnesota state law passed last year, some students are finding their goals of becoming a teacher are now being decided by a 48 multiple choice assessment, a test that gives students no feedback, just a pass or fail grade.
The test itself isn't very fair. It's not measuring all of the elements of a whole teacher. There's so many qualities of a good teacher, and the test is only taking a very small sample.
And with no feedback, they begin to second guess themselves. So they see the same question, they think, oh, last time I answered A, maybe this time I should answer B, even if I think A is the right answer.
Vandenheuvel, along with another student peer, spoke in front of the House of Representatives, testifying in support of a bill that would get rid of the test. The bill passed the House, but later failed when presented to the Senate.
It doesn't mean that it's over. We definitely have another bill it's working its way through. There's some changes that have been made, but it's still something that we're fighting for.
Marquardt has said due to the assessment, she has seen a dramatic response in some students' performances.
I definitely have not seen an increase in motivation. I have had students who have expressed concerns about possibly dropping out of college altogether because of their concern that they won't be able to be a teacher. And students are frustrated, they're discouraged.
But for Vandenheuvel, the test is more of an encouragement to do better.
It definitely hasn't changed my view on teaching, but it has stressed me out, and it's really given me the motivation to push harder.
But for now, students like Vandenheuvel will advocate toward a fairer test that shows off their skills as being a teacher rather than the result of a basic skills assessment. Chelsea Smith, Campus News.
According to Vandenheuvel, some students have already spent more than $400 retaking the basic skills test.
We've all heard of prepaid phones and credit cards, but now parents have the option to prepay their children's college education. The Private College 529 plan is a program that allows prepayment to more than 270 schools, including Duke, Stanford, and Princeton. One of the colleges involved in the program is Carleton in Northfield, Minnesota. The plan allows families to add money to a trust and receive a certificate representing a share of tuition at current rates. Even if tuition rises, that investment stays the same. Investing in the plan does not guarantee a student's acceptance into the schools. Renting an apartment or house is a popular option for a lot of college students. However, many are unprepared for the worst. Photojournalist Charles Crane tells us one student's story.
When NDSU student Brandon Durhag returned to his North Fargo apartment, he planned on finishing a few loads of laundry. What he found after opening the front door was much worse than a pile of dirty clothes.
There's huge just bubbles everywhere. From these bubbles, there's water pouring from them, as well as all of our light fixtures and everything. It was literally raining from our ceiling. The washing machine that night had never turned off, and the hoses had constantly kept on running. The only way that the water had to go was just down.
All that water damaged more than just walls.
My entertainment system, all the lamps down here, our fridges, our heaters, everything that was electronic got destroyed.
On top of all of the loss comes a cost.
Trying to price it out, I myself have lost about at least $4,000 worth of goods.
With the cost, a lesson Brandon and we all can learn from.
If I would have had renter's insurance, anything that I would have lost would have been covered. I'm going to have renter's insurance no matter where I go now. If you have any question about getting it, just get it. It's worth it.
Charles Crane, Campus News.
While monthly premiums vary from state to state, the average cost of renter's insurance is $12 per month, according to the Independent Insurance Agents and Brokers of America.
For the second year in a row, North Dakota State University is being honored as a Tree Campus USA by the Arbor Day Foundation. The foundation gives the award to colleges and universities that meet 5 standards. They maintain a tree advisory committee, a campus tree care plan, hold annual tree events, observe Arbor Day, and have student service learning projects. The Arbor Day Foundation works to inspire people to plant, nurture, and celebrate trees.
A Minnesota State Community and Technical College student on the Moorhead campus is gaining some national recognition.
Reporter Carly Lemkuhl has the story on the tools this student has been using to get there.
For second-year carpentry student Brandon Stelzer, measuring, sawing, and drilling are a part of a daily routine. Working construction for the past 5 years, Stelzer decided to follow his passion and earn a degree.
And it was here at MSCTC where his talent and community involvement were recognized, which ultimately led to a national honor.
We were out in Vegas at the National Home Builders Convention, and the instructor came up to me and said, "Brandon, you're up for an award." So, I mean, it was quite a shock.
The National Home Builders Association awarded Stelzer on his grade point average and community involvement with the local HBA. Stelzer says it has helped him feel ready for his future in the carpentry business.
With this award, I feel like, maybe I'm smart enough to start my own business a little bit earlier and be a boss of my own.
With graduation in May, Stelzer will put his confidence and skills to the test.
It's for vanity.
And begin his career. With photographer Cassie Cowler. Carly Lemkuhl, Campus News.
Stelzer graduates in May and hopes to start his own business, specializing in homes and pole barns.
A dog is alive and well today thanks to some new technology at the University of Minnesota. A dog named Gage fell 5 stories off of a roof and was in critical condition, but a new 3D CT scanner at the university's veterinary hospital allowed doctors to pinpoint the dog's breaks and rush it into surgery. Gage is now in rehab and doing much better. The U of M is one of a handful of colleges with a veterinary 3D CT scanner.
From classes, homework, and working outside of class, college can fly by for students, and they soon may be left wondering what's going to happen after graduation. Reporter Brianne Lensmeyer tells us how an internship and career fair at MSU Moorhead is involving both students and community businesses.
A firm handshake may be the start of a college student finding a job or internship. The MSU Moorhead Career and Development Center sponsored its first ever career and internship fair. The event brought more than 30 local businesses to one place for students to connect with. For one college student, the fair gave her the opportunity to interact with employers.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking around for jobs like within the area.
And she left with
a better understanding of kind of what they're looking for and more about the different type of jobs I could possibly be doing.
But it wasn't just about the students. It was a way for business leaders to give advice to students about how to prepare for an interview and what to expect when working in their field.
So hopefully we can try and interact. We're all a young group of of financial professionals and try and relate to a college student as much as we can, because the real world, once again, can come up on you pretty quick. So we want to help answer any questions that they have, not only about what we do, but just about life and getting out of college in general.
For Bundy, the fair gave her hope for her future after graduation.
Economy might not be that great, but there's jobs and they are looking, so you just gotta kind of put yourself forward and go for it.
After a day of making first impressions, students left with connections that may help them after graduation. With photographer Nargis Al-Bakshi, Brianne Lensmeyer, Campus News.
The National Association of Colleges and Employers does have good news for graduating seniors. Its recent study found employers expect to hire 13% more college grads this year compared to 2012.
One professor of animal sciences at NDSU is trying to set the record straight about meat. Rob Maddock was recently featured in a video by the American Meat Institute on a website called meatmythcrushers.com. In the video, Maddock refutes the idea that ground beef needs to come from the same part of the cow. He also talks about what to look for when buying ground beef. He focuses on packaging, expiration dates, and the amount of fat found in the meat.
Wheat, barley, and rye. All things commonly found in food we eat on a daily basis. However, what some people may not know is that they contain gluten, a protein that many people are allergic to. The good news is, students at MSU Moorhead with a gluten allergy now have a section of their own in the cafeteria. And this area of the dining center will soon be growing.
This fall we're going to be rolling out Sodexo's Simple Servings program, which is an expansion of the options we already have here at MSUM. It's a site in Kesey dedicated to just gluten-free items.
NDSU and Concordia have also started offering gluten-free items.
A new business near the MSU Moorhead campus is shaking up the way students and staff are getting fast food. Reporter Rebecca Liebach tells us more about this healthy alternative.
With flavors like these, you would think you're in a candy parlor.
I would say our peanut butter cookie is definitely one of our top ones.
But at 300 calories, these shakes are stirring the way people get their nutrition.
You're getting a equivalent to a 1,500 calorie meal in one shake, less than 300 calories. All the vitamins, minerals, nutrients that you need in the shake.
Students and staff are saying goodbye to the French fries and ketchup, and they're trading it in for something different. For NDSU professor Stevie Frank, these shakes are a part of her daily life.
Given the choice of a healthy protein drink which replaces a meal, or McDonald's, easy choice, I would easily choose a protein drink.
The shakes are made from a product from Herbalife, which is a global nutrition company established in the 80s. But businesses like Fit Republic have just started popping up in the metro as a way to cater to everyone's busy lifestyles.
They do it because of the taste and because it's easy.
Although the days of Flintstone vitamins and your mom telling you to eat your broccoli will probably never go away, it's always nice to know that there are other options out there.
There you are.
Rebecca Liebach, Campus News.
A shake will cost you about $6.50. That price includes a shot of aloe to help you digest the protein and a cleansing tea that burns an additional 80 calories.
Oil in the west and water in the east. That's one way to sum up North Dakota's natural resources. And now students from 7 regional universities are giving their perspectives on these resources through their art. Students from Minnesota, North Dakota, and Manitoba are sharing their art with others through an exhibit called Oil and Water, Student Print Exchange, at the Plains Art Museum in Fargo. The students use the themes of flooding, flood control, and oil development to explore the use and misuse of natural resources in their work. The exhibit runs through May 12th.
To the fashionistas who love watching models strut their stuff on a runway, this may be your lucky day. North Dakota State University's Fashion Apparel and Business Organization is hosting its 11th annual fashion show. Models will showcase unique designs to students in the area. The event allows students majoring in fashion design, apparel business, and merchandising to get an inside look at how the fashion industry works. The show will be April 25th at the Memorial Union Ballroom.
A diverse group of international students got together a couple of nights a week in secret at MSU Moorhead. Reporter Nargis Al-Bakshi shows us what these students were up to.
Every night last week, the sound of thumping music beats and foot stomping can be heard at the CMU. A group of international students, led by fellow MSUM student and choreographer Kyle Zeck, gather together and memorize the group dance. There was a lot of clapping, footwork, and dancing, accompanied by a wide variety of musical hits. While students were enjoying the dinner session at Kesey Commons on April 3rd, the group of students showcased their dance moves, revealing a flash mob. The students were trying to publicize the 50th Celebration of Nations, which is an event held every year to celebrate the diversity of MSUM students. Students enjoying their dinner meal at the dining hall had also enjoyed the performance set up by their peers.
I thought it was very cool. Why? Because people were just dancing in the middle of Kesey.
I thought it was cool. I didn't really know what was going on at first, and then, yeah, it was fun to watch.
I don't know, it's pretty interesting. I've never seen one in person before. I've always saw them on, like, the internet and stuff, but it was all right.
Like, I feel like everyone is a part of the dance, like, made me feel so warm or welcome.
The hard work of the students had really paid off.
I thought the group as a whole did a wonderful job, and I would totally do this again next year.
With photographer Stian Mikkelsen, Nargis Al-Bakshi, Campus News.
The energy from the flash mob carried over to the main event as students from 53 countries represented their national pride at the Celebration of Nations.
Reporter Noor Alamran gives us a look at how students celebrated the diverse cultures at the 50th annual event.
Bahamas, Cyprus, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, and China were just a few of the countries that participated at Celebration of Nations.
This event is a very good event. It's cultural, it teaches everybody. You get a taste of almost a lot of different countries, so it's pretty good.
Guests also had a taste of different international cuisines that had served a wide array of dishes.
While some were enjoying taking pictures at the Saudi booth, just like this one, others were enjoying the performances.
The performances started off with a traditional Vietnamese dance, also called the lion dance.
Everyone's so excited, and all the dances have been really, you can tell they put a lot of work into it, and they're really fun to watch.
One word that would describe this event would be
festive. Yeah, so many colors and I don't know, so many different cultures. Festive.
Intriguing. It really gets you thinking, you know, about the world out there, about people with so many different cultures, with so many different values.
The 50th annual Celebration of Nations brought together entertainment and cultural knowledge. With photographer Stian Mikkelsen, Noor Al-Amran, Campus News.
MSUM's first international student came in 1951 from Nigeria. And now we turn it over to Colin Boyles for a look at this week's sports.
Thanks. Only select individuals get to participate in the numerous collegiate sports at MSU Moorhead. Reporter Mag Gleason introduces us to a club offering training to anyone in a sport that requires both speed and strategy.
Twice a week, the dance studio above Nemzik Fieldhouse rings out with the clash of steel on steel as the MSUM Fencing Club meets to hone their skills of swordplay.
Since we're not like a major specific, I guess, club, we get pretty much everyone from everywhere, and all the members are really excited to be here.
Although the membership varies, the instruction follows a standard formula.
Usually when people start, we'll teach them a little bit of footwork.
And toe, yep, and mix it.
Arm position, parries, kind of like the general attacks are what we start with, and then we kind of throw them in there to kind of learn how all that works.
It's very friendly and open. I mean, the first day I came in, they were teaching me things so I didn't feel left out, and I was with other people who were learning it. Even if it wasn't their first meeting, they were still practicing the same things.
This practice can be physically taxing, but for some of the members, that's just part of the appeal.
It's a huge workout. These jackets aren't thin. For protection, so you get really warm in them, but at the same time, you're moving a lot.
People almost like say it's akin to boxing, just the way you read your opponent, and you plan moves ahead, like they call it physical chess, because you're planning like sometimes 2, 3, 4 moves ahead.
And even in this sport that requires complex precision, the attraction to fencing is pretty simple.
You get to sword fight. I mean, it's what's not to love about that?
Matt Gleason, Campus News.
The fencing club provides all of the equipment students need to participate. It's also open to community members as well. MSU Moorhead softball team is losing a fight that's been going on for a couple weeks now with Mother Nature. The late-lasting snow pushed the team's first home games back this season. MSUM originally scheduled games in Moorhead for the 2nd of April and have yet to play on the NMSC softball field. The weather is continuing to force them to travel to opponents' fields to play their games. The Dragons have only had a chance to practice inside the walls of NMSC Fieldhouse.
It gets a lot harder to focus in the gym. And I mean, our girls have been doing really good at trying to stay focused and getting drills, but when you don't get any balls in the dirt or pop flies, it's really hard for our defense to, go to a game live without practicing that kind of stuff.
At this time last year, the Dragons already played 10 home games. One MSUM athlete is showing his national dominance on the track again this week after running at the Vance Butler Invitational in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Senior Derek Brady won the 200-meter dash in 20.92 seconds, which tied Division II's fastest time this year. He also ran the nation's 6th fastest time in the 100-meter a week earlier at the Clyde Littlefield Texas Relays. Both times helped Brady earn the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Men's Track Athlete of the Week for the past 2 weeks. College basketball fans across the Fargo-Moorhead area gather at wellness centers to play the game they love. A recent trend on the courts has North Dakota State University wanting to make changes, though. Reporter Kenny Buck tells us how they are planning to let students on the rims now in an effort to keep them off later.
The NDSU Wellness Center's first annual basketball skills competition held a variety of events where students could rotate from station to station with their group. That being said, wellness staff was pretty clear on what contest this event was specifically made for.
We started this event mostly for the dunk contest because we have a lot of problems with people dunking during normal games. And because of that, we finally set a date where they could dunk without getting in trouble for it.
Students can come to the wellness and participate in events such as the hot shot, an obstacle course, a dunk contest, and even a three-point contest.
From long-distance three-pointers, supreme ball handling, and high-flying dunks, it remains to be seen whether this event keeps students off the rims in the future. With photographer Samuel Morse, Kenny Buck, Campus News.
A group of celebrity judges, including Brock Jensen and DJ McNorton of the national champion Bison, gave a score to each of the dunkers. 22 sports at the University of Rutgers are now under scrutiny after the school's men's basketball coach was fired. The university is reviewing all sports practice footage after the actions of former head coach Mike Rice. Rice was fired after video was leaked of him pushing, yelling, and even throwing balls at his players in practice. The video also recorded him swearing and calling the players different homophobic slurs. Rutgers initially suspended Rice 3 games and $50,000 before the video went viral. University President Robert Barshi announced that the school will hire an independent advisor to make sure no other sports coaches are acting in a similar fashion. The most memorable touchdown at the Nebraska Cornhuskers annual Red-White game didn't come from any player on the roster. 7-year-old Jack Hoffman took the handoff from quarterback Taylor Martinez and couldn't be stopped. Jack was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2011. He made a friendship with the Cornhuskers running back Rex Burkhead and has been close with the program ever since. Last week, they allowed him to come onto the field and run for a 69-yard touchdown in its annual spring game. Jack wore a miniature version of Burkhead's number 22 jersey. You know, that was sure a nice gesture of the Nebraska athletics there.
It was. That was such a cute story.
Yeah, they should probably recruit that little guy. Thanks, Colin. While the cold and wind still plague the campuses in the Fargo-Moorhead area, thousands of miles away, students are enjoying warm beaches and sunny days. Photojournalist Melissa Steffen takes us to the University of the Virgin Islands, St. Croix.
Ocean, beach, and warm weather. 3 requirements for a perfect tropical vacation. The island of St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands is the ideal location for a Caribbean getaway. Once here, you will never want to leave.
Of sin, hatred, or devotion.
The students and faculty of the University of the Virgin Islands, St. Croix, don't have to.
Are you prepared? Is that what's the problem?
They get to enjoy the warm weather all year long.
I like the fact that it does get cool, not cold. We get breezes, not wind chill. You know, we do go to the beach and maybe we don't even go in the water because it's too cool. But I never get tired of the weather. I mean, I love the ocean. I love being there. I love the color of the sea. My daughter's in New York. She's under 5 inches of snow and I'm saying, sorry, I'm sailing in the British Virgin Islands.
Mary Jo Wilder, an English professor at the university, spent 20 years living in the frozen tundra of northern Michigan before moving to St. Croix.
But what happens is after you stay here a long time, now it's like 75 degrees, 78 degrees out, and I'm freezing.
Even with year-round warm weather, sometimes being at a school on an island that's 28 miles long and 7 miles wide can be a challenge.
We get island fever. After you've been on island for a long time, if you don't get off island every couple of months or at least once a year, you go a little crazy.
There's nothing to do. We're bored. Going to the beach gets boring.
Going to college on a tropical island definitely has its ups and downs. But while students in the Fargo-Moorhead region see snow and puddles out their windows, the students of St. Croix get to see blue ocean and colorful sunrises. From the island of St. Croix, Melissa Steffen, Campus News.
The University of the Virgin Islands has campuses on the island of St. Croix as well as the island of St. Thomas. They have a combined total of 2,500 students. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with another look at the Celebration of Nations.
Thanks for joining us and have a great week.
Oppa Gangnam Style.
Campus News was produced by the Television News Workshop in the Department of Mass Communications at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.